What's going on, everybody? Brent Simmons here with Restoration Roofing. This is a little bit different video than I've ever really done, but today I want to talk about why on really any kind of quote that you get from a contractor, be it like a bathroom remodel or a roof or whatever, why is there always a line on there that says, or usually has a line on there that says price is good for 30 days? And I know if you're a homeowner watching this and you've experienced this, it seems very frustrating and you might not understand exactly why this is happening. So I just wanted to give you an insider look as to why this is happening and why this has kind of always been the case. But right now, especially with COVID and everything else that's going on in the world, it's really picking up and it's becoming a big issue for those who have budgeted for jobs, and even the contractors who are having to go back and explain themselves to their customers. So let's jump right in. So shingles and building materials alone are affected dramatically by a lot of different things. So typically, it's just supply and demand, right? Supply and demand is one of those things, it's completely skewed right now. So right now we are facing an extremely high demand, and demand usually comes from, anytime there's a hurricane or like big hailstorm, for example, we have an extremely high spike in demand because everybody's needing those building products, especially when it comes to roofing and hail. But we also have something else affecting us that's greatly reduced the supply of shingles and lumber and everything else, which is COVID-19.
Meanwhile, recent hailstorms are creating a rush for new roofs.
But just as homeowners find companies to do the repairs, contractors are finding supplies in short supply. When factories make asphalt shingles were shuttered by coronavirus lockdowns, it led to some supply chain problems.
So one of the things that a lot of the manufacturers did for the safety of their employees is to shut down factories, shut down, supply houses and things like that, just to protect those that work for them. So less materials are being made, all the while the demand is at a peak right now. So it's just, we're facing both extremes, okay? Another thing that also affects the price of shingles is oil. Asphalt, shingles, they're oil-based products. So anytime oil goes up, you're going to see that translate into higher raw material prices, which is also going to translate into higher cost of goods for the manufacturers. That's going to increase the price of those shingles. But even then, let's add COVID into the mix. We're seeing unprecedented increases in prices of raw materials and finished materials alike. So when we talk about the oil prices, we also talk about the transportation costs. We have trucks that are having to deliver these things. Shingles have granules on them. Those granules are they come out of mines. So those mines have big pieces of equipment that consume a lot of diesel fuel. So that's another thing that goes into it. So I've got some information here that I wanted to use to back this up. This right here, all these stacks of papers, these are all of the price increase announcements that we've had from the manufacturers. Here's the latest batch. Here's Atlas, IKO, Owens Corning, Certainteed, Tamco, I think you get the point. But what all these say is, and I'll just read one, this is Certainteed. Certainteed will increase prices on all residential roofing, shingles, and accessory products by up to 7% effective as of April 5th, 2021. So that's the current one. We've actually been told that there's already another price increase on its way in. So, we're in February. We already know of two that have happened this year. I checked with my reps at ABC and Beacon Roofing Supply just to try to get a number of how many price increases we've had since 2018. And kind of across the board, we all came up with 8 to 10 price increases have occurred just since 2018. Okay, and they're anywhere from 5 to 9% depending on the manufacturer, but you keep on adding that over and over and over again. You start comparing prices, where we are now compared to 2018, and 2018 looks cheap compared to where we are now. Same thing's happening with lumber. You'll probably notice your roofers are charging more to replace rotten decking. That's because lumber has really gone through the roof. So I've got a website up here. I just wanted to read a little bit of information here, but here it is. So this article from Pointer Magazine quotes the National Association of Home Builders. This was published last year in August, but that was right in the thick of things. We're still experiencing this right now. So the National Association of Home Builders said the price of lumber has staged a staggering increase in recent months, rising roughly 80% since mid-April to an average price above $600 per thousand board feet. This increase will add thousands of dollars to the cost of a typical newly built home, thereby constraining housing supply. And he goes on and on to talk about other things. So right there, between April and August of 2020, that was an 80% increase in lumber. I looked further, that there was a 78% increase in OSB boards. If you go to Home Depot right now, you'll see OSB that's well above $35, $40 a board. I remember a couple years ago, I could buy them for $16 a board. So that means they've more than doubled in price. So back to my original point, when you get a quote that says good for 30 days, or you call, let's say you've had a quote that's 6 months ago and you're finally ready to move forward, and you call to engage that contractor to go to contract, don't be surprised if they have to reprice it. It is not any of our faults. It just has to do with the economy and the way prices go up and down. Unfortunately for shingles, I don't recall a time that they've actually ever gone down in price. They're a commodity product. They continue to rise over and over again. But at Restoration Roofing, we always put prices good for 30 days. We will try to work with you if there hasn't been a price increase. But the reason we put that on there is just to cover ourselves in case there has been a price increase during those 30 days. And even right now, we're in February. There's already one that just hit. I have a letter for another one, and I know of a third coming up in the near future. And that might not be the end of 2021. We could see 4 to 5 price increases just this year. So anyways, I hope you found this video entertaining and educational. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.